Oh, my hearties, a very good evening to you, and Dinky-Doo. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this Friday night's edition of Scottie McCLUE Live. And we are, of course, live on YouTube just for you, just for an hour, so lots and lots to talk about. Very little time to do it in, of course. But welcome, welcome. If you're on live chat, we'll give you a shout out and have a bit of banter with you. The Skype is on. Scottie.McCLUE. If you want to come on and give us the benefit of your chit chat on the Skype. Fantastic stuff. So welcome, 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 I say. Now, who do we have here with us tonight? Frank McElroy. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Frank. Lovely to have you with us. Hi, Scottie and all. How are we? Kareem. Welcome, welcome. Lovely to have you with us. Of course, it always is. I'm here, Kareem, says Magnus. Dinky-Doo, Scottie, says the wonderful Lady Doyle. Betty McIve has joined us. Hi, Dinky-Doo. Hi, Betty. Lovely to have you with us. Now, am I talking too loud? Because Gordon said that the audio last night was a little bit harsh, and we don't want really to be too harsh, do we now? That's not what we're all about. So wonderful stuff, and lovely to have you all with us. Now, I want to hear from you. Let's not just do bland banter tonight. Let's do some serious chit-chat about how you are, how you're coping, how you're dealing with things, ideas that we've got out there. So there we are, very important as well. Dinky-Doo, Dinky-Doo, welcome, welcome, welcome. Great stuff. Now, I have the trusty Skype with us. If anybody wants to go on, Alistair Campbell, if you want to come on for a wee Skype, Scottie.McCLUE is the one. I would do that. No, Scottie, the audience is perfect as always. Sorry, the audio is perfect. I thought you said the audience is perfect. The audience is always perfect, but the audio is perfect. That's excellent because, as I say, maybe Gordon had his machine turned up a wee bit on the loud side last night. But if I'm talking too loud, do tell me. So they are very important because obviously don't deal with the headphones when we're doing this. I don't have the old cans on. Fantastic stuff. And have you spread the word? Did everybody get their alerts to let them know that we are live? I'll just see what's happening here because we perhaps should get on and do a bit of sharing right away. So there we go. Right, I'll just catch that little bit there, and we'll see if we can do a little bit of sharing very, very quickly, just to let everybody know. I can see what's happened. Sorry, I'm just having a wee kick over the top there. Just kicking over the top just to see what's going on there. Fantastic stuff. And welcome, welcome, welcome. If you've just joined us and you're an alien life form from another planet, you're wondering what on earth's happening, I'm Scottie McCLUE, the world's top broadcaster, the first lord of the internet, and, of course, the world's most humble man. We know that, don't we? We know that already. Did you get your alert with the rose-coloured picture? Well, it is a rose. Actually, it's the rose from the gardens at McCLUE Towers. Fantastic stuff there. If anybody has got any advice about the best little computers to have, don't mention any proprietary names, but you can tip me the wink maybe in a message or something like that. Because what I'm thinking about for the winter, phone in. Oh, how good would that be? Fantastic. And get back to normal, I say. Whatever normal is. Remember that when somebody asked Prince Charles and the Diana, Princess of Wales, when they got engaged, are you in love? And he goes, yes, whatever love is. Fantastic. Have you ever experienced actual love, guys? Do you know what love actually is? So I'm just going to tap in live now. Sorry about all this cloak and dagger stuff looking around the corner. Too many devices, too many things going on here. And I think when you've got that, you've got to improvise, haven't you? Improvise. But McCLUE's always improvised, you know. 50,000 hours of live unscripted broadcasting and television or radio. That's the way to go. That's what we like. Wonderful. Or that's what you all appear to like. Anyway, it's certainly gone down very well over the last 29 years. Can you believe it? We're in our 29th year of Scottie McCLUE's Nightline. The mega phone in Right, I'm just going to post now. Let everybody know that we have gone live and they can come and join us here on YouTube. I see the panic buying has started, Scottie. I did say it would in a couple of weeks. I don't know why there's panic buying, Frank. I don't understand it, because the shops have made it quite clear there's not going to be any shortage. I just think people are very, very silly. You know, I've had a lot of argy-bargies today with people over the royal family doing their nut, you know, because somebody said that they may need some money just to help the royal family over the difficult period of COVID and things like that. Now, I don't know if it's fake news or if it's genuine, but the reactions from people have been absolutely shocking. The way they seem to perceive the royal family. Oh, they've got money, they're so rich. Well, they don't understand anything about how the state works in this country, and that the royal family are virtually self-financing, of course. So there we are, self-financing, and Her Majesty the Queen's office and the office of the heir to the throne, Prince of Wales, they're virtually self-financing, and they bring in fortunes in tourism and trade. So we need to think about that. Excellent stuff. Now, I'm just going to see what we've got here. Did your message about the panic buying reach many people? The problem I've got with platforms now, Betty, there's so much media about that it used to go out to thousands upon thousands upon thousands. Now sometimes it can go out to a couple of dozen, but it's still worth doing it, you know? It's still worth doing it, Betty, because I think the people need to know what is what. The people need to get told. They need to get their education, and if Scottie McCLUE can help with that. I mean, there's a lot of education out there, but sometimes they have to pay for it. I've always been free. And boy, do some people cheek up. Woo! When you try and educate them, they cheek up. You tell them what's what, they go, rubbish! You go, no, these are facts that I've spent 50 years deeply, deeply researching in international affairs. Oh, rubbish! You know, every day is suddenly a specialist in all sorts of things. Immigration, the royal family, smoking, COVID-19, medicine itself, epidemiology. We have all these specialists out there. Have you noticed? How amazing is that? Right. I'm just about to share this. Let everybody know that we're live now and they can come and join us. The ones that mock the royal family don't have the IQ to know how much they do for the general public and the economy. Absolutely, Frank. The royal family have made this country. They have made the wealth of this country, and they cost us virtually nothing. Fantastic. So there you are. So I agree with you, Frank. You know, I mean, these sort of people in the old days that have all been put in the tower, that have been taken away and put in the tower. But now we let people have an opinion. But that doesn't mean they should be cheeking up about our sovereign lady, Her Majesty the Queen of all of us, regardless of your creed, your color, your background, your race, your religion, any of these things. The Queen is the Queen. And we've had a monarchy for 437 years or something, or 343 years, is it? I sometimes get mixed up with that, but it's huge. Anyway, it's massive, absolutely massive. And we need to remember that. People need to remember that, especially when they don't know. And they should listen to Scottie McCLUE. If they'd listened to me in 2014, Scotland would have been independent by now. How good would that have been, I ask you? Right, we'll see what's happening here. There we are. Now, panic buying's driven by fear, says Alistair Campbell. A fear of what, Alistair? I know there could be an obvious answer, you know, a fear of running out of toilet roll. But I mean, a fear of what? What is driving the fear with the panic buying? Think about it. I mean, what do they think is going to happen? Because I don't think the government would be very popular if the shops just ran out of goodies completely and we were all just left to starve. I can't see the government being very popular unless it's a James Bond thing and you just see our leaders disappearing by some sort of space pod, at the end of it. Been here for half a year. I beg an autograph. Massive. You never, ever need to beg. I just need to find out how to get it to you, and you can have one. Scottie, I believe, there's Anthony here. What's this? I believe the Queen is one of the richest people in the world. I don't think she'll be struggling too hard. Tony, that's not actually true. It's not a question of she might be struggling. The state, the machinery of the state, may be struggling due to COVID, the same as the rest of us. Now, as for being one of the richest women in the world, the Queen has got money, very, very hard won and very hard earned. She has been an outstanding public servant for 94 years and working directly for the country for 72 years. So, you know, I mean, from that point of view, or even more, in fact, wait till we see. Yes, about 72 years and 73 years, 72 years. There we are. We'll go for 72. But that's not what it's all about. Of course, it's not a question of struggling. It's a question of us not losing the office of head of state and turning ourselves into a third world country. We've just lost everything else by leaving the EU, surrendering our sovereignty and our freedoms and everything to a bunch of hooray Henrys. That's what we've done there. Piece of nonsense, I say. A certain supermarket limits people. They can get two of any item. There we are. And I'm sure you know the one I mean, Scottie. Oh, absolutely, Frank. Absolutely. They are. So, Massive, you have no worries about getting an autograph at all. You more than deserve it. I can tell you. It's just a question of how do we get it to you. So there we are, I say. Now, let's just see what's going on here. I'm just going to share this in the Scottie McCLUE group, the fan group. Let everybody know what's what. If you can all do a bit of sharing as well, that would be fantastic. If you want to talk to me live on Skype, you can do. Scottie.McCLUE, the Skype is on and ready to receive your call. So there we are. Not a problem, I say. So, no, Anthony, what we're talking about here, you have to not have this attitude that the Queen, oh, she's so rich, so rich. Self-financing, you know. I mean, Brexit has already cost us £200 billion. And the dafties that go, ridiculous, the Queen sitting there with money when people are starving. The starving is political, nothing to do with the monarch. If you sold off every state asset, nobody would be any better off. What do you do with your poor then? Just completely ignore them. And nobody's got anything to whinge about because everything's sold off. There's nothing. The state owns nothing. All sold off, all gone. UK, nothing. Scotland, nothing. England, nothing. Wales, nothing. Northern Ireland, nothing. All sold off. Yes, all gone. If that happened, where do you go from there? So come on now, Anthony. Let's have an answer to that one. I'll tell you. Plus, remember, you don't know anything about the Queen's finances. I was explaining to people the times the monarchy have bailed us out, particularly after the First World War, when the country was nearly bankrupt and King George V put his money down and said, I'll give you some money, but you can't hit me for tax as well. So there you are. Wonderful old boy. Fantastic. Now then, what are we doing here? We're sharing. I'm just going to swear. I'm not going to swear at all. I'm going to share on Reddit. There's the wonderful Susan Forrest from Lancashire. She's a lassie from Lancashire. Good evening, Scottie and Dinky-Doo. Good evening, Susan. Lovely to hear you and Dinky-Doo, I say. Fantastic. Long-time listener from Lancashire, going right back 29 years. Oh, my goodness me. Is that not just amazing? Fantastic. We like that. There we go. I think if you like Scottie McCLUE, you like Scottie McCLUE. If you don't like Scottie McCLUE, that's your problem. I always say. That's what I always say. Excellent stuff. Right, I'm just sharing as well on the... Oh, isn't that not wonderful? There we are. I'm just sharing on that. Scottie_McCLUE on Reddit. Twitter, at Scottie McCLUE. TikTok, at Scottie McCLUE. YouTube, youtube.com/user/Scottie McCLUE 1. Instagram, Scottie McCLUE 1. Make sure you follow the lot because there's big stuff coming and you want to be the first in the queue, I shall tell you. Does anyone know what extended household means? Under the rules, I need to look after my wee dad, who's on his own. Right, we'll get that for you, Tony. That's a very, very fair question. Does anybody know what they mean when you hear the chief medical officer on talking about extended household? 29 years and still love McCLUE, says the wonderful Susan Forrest. Bless you, Susan. Mwah! Fantastic. That is excellent. That's what I call proper support. That's what I call a real fan. Tremendous stuff. That's the one when you go to see huge stars in concert. They're down the front row. Wonderful. Yes, and of course your person comes and sees them. So there we are. If anybody can help Anthony with the term extended household, he's got his dad to look after and he's wondering what he can do and what he can't do. 8 Karma. 4 of you following. New account. Tremendous. Scottie_McCLUE on Reddit. And if you are a Reddit person, please get that sent round big style. Tell 10 to tell 10. Can I have more likes, please? I do not know what people are playing at. Fantastic. Here we are sitting here live, and we've not got enough likes. Tut, tut, tutty, tut, 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 tut. Did everybody get their notifications today to say that we were live? Very important. Do let me know. I'm wondering how far we're going out, if we're going out to America with this, because I find it a little bit strange at times. We used to have people from Canada and America and abroad, and I'm just wondering if things get narrowed down to the UK. We shall see what's what, of course. Have we got good video and audio, folks? Do tell me. Have we got good video and audio? Scottie, I know we don't always agree, but I know you. I always love you and respect your views. Me too, Tony. I will never give you a bum steer on anything. So there you are. Very important. I got it. I got it, says Magnus. Did you get 2 Magnus? So there we are. Good. All good. All good. Excellent, Magnus. Thank you for that. Very much appreciated. What do you think of the idea we're going to get a phone in on the go? Do you like that? Tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10 now. I'm just going to stop for a second. Can anybody tell me what this is? No funny answers, please. Or not funny answers. Oh, that's lush. Anybody know what this is? And I don't want, as I say, I don't want any not funny answers. Magnus says a sample. Yes, but a sample of what, Magnus? It is indeed. It's a large sample, but we need to know a sample of what. Susan Forrest has got it in 1. She says, apple cider vinegar. It is. It's heavily diluted apple cider vinegar with what they call the mother. Tony says, I assume it's non-alcoholic. Of course, Tony, you know your old chum doesn't do the booze anymore. Gave all that up about, 5 years ago now? 4 or 5 years. I can never remember. 4 or 5 years. Right, I'm going to tweet early tonight. So you'd better be telling me what you want to see in the tweet, okay? What do we want to see in the tweet, guys? Lovely, lovely. I think I'll put in some Friday ones. Friday feeling, Friday thought. Oh, that's doubled up, that. Friday thoughts. What else should we put in? Should we put in a couple of... I'll tell you what we'll do. There we are. Yes. This is always a winner, this one. Right. We like this. A wee bit of tweeting. Now. Right. Put that up. Shan't be a moment. Oh, this is beautiful. Now, I just need to save two little... Oh, I've got it. It's a wee puzzle, isn't it, when you're doing these sort of things? You've got a wee puzzle. Right, I'm about to tweet this. So I shall be expecting you to retweet it at Scottie McCLUE. I've noted a few of the faithfuls are missing, says Alistair Campbell. Alistair Campbell, well done, Sherlock, is the first thing. And I've noticed that too. We're missing a few faithfuls tonight. I'm wondering if they didn't get the notifications or if they're maybe doing other things. I don't think they'll be out socialising. Are we still allowed to socialise at the pubs and things like that? Is there still any of the pubs open? Anthony says, they say apple cider vinegar is great for keeping your weight down. I'm going to try it. Yes, but remember, heavily diluted, Anthony. Never, ever, ever take it straight because you could burn your esophagus, you know. But it is very good at, the acid becomes, I'm not sure if it becomes alkaline, but it processes well in you. Anthony, it's also a great antioxidant, says the wonderful Eddie Doyle. So there we are. Alistair Campbell, I've also noted a few of the faithfuls are here. And I think when people ask me, is your glass half full or is your glass half empty? I say neither. My glass is filled to overflowing. Yes, my cup runneth over. Very, very important. I am the richest man in the world. I just don't have any money. Fantastic. You want to see the cheek I got today on Facebook? Oh, my goodness me. So there you are. So a great antioxidant, Anthony, but do be careful when you're taking it. Make sure it's diluted. If you've just joined us, folks, a very warm welcome. You're watching Scottie McCLUE. We're live on YouTube just for you. Live streaming, 8 p.m. Friday night, Friday the 25th of September, 2020. And you're watching the world's top broadcaster, and I can't help that. Nothing to do about it. The world's most humble man. Oh, we love it. So there you are. So a great oxidant, the apple cider vinegar. Fantastic. Right, we'll just do that. There we are. And we'll do a little bit of retweeting and let people know what's happening there. Now, I may pop on to another site. I'll just see if anybody's retweeted that. Oh, lovely. Great reaction on there, guys. Thank you. Well engaged on Twitter at Scottie McCLUE. Do follow me. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram, Scottie McCLUE 1. Follow us here. Subscribe on YouTube. Very, very important. We must get the subscribers up. Eddie says, Scottie, do you think the pubs and restaurants, etc., will close down again? Well, the problem is, it's a shame that they get the blame because I think they're doing everything right, but I think it's the people themselves that are not. So you see the pubs cleaning the tables and socially distancing every day and bringing out a sanitized pint and all that sort of stuff and the food arriving and doing the stuff, but the virus goes up, the R number goes up. I think the last count was 1.4. Now that's getting very dangerous, very dodgy. So if the people can't behave, and the problem is we all know alcohol de-inhibits you or disinhibits you. Which would be the best one? Where is Gordon Robertson when you need him? Our resident grammarian, I say to you. Craig Cochrane, good evening, Scottie. Dinky-Doo. Fantastic. Tony says on the subject, whether your glass is half empty or half full. Hold on a minute. I'm just going to take my keys out my pocket. Oh, that's better. That's a lot better. Tony says, on the subject of whether your glass is half empty or half full, my late mum would say she was a pessimistic optimist. Bless your late mum, I say, Tony. We give thanks for her. Yes, indeed. Good evening, Scottie Dinky-Doo, says the wonderful Craig Cochrane. Welcome, Craig. Lovely to have you with us. For a while, the supermarkets had queues outside and would only let so many in at a time. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes back to that. Well, it still is that, Eddie. But I went to the shops last night and they were quite quiet. And this was, like 4:30 in the afternoon or 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, normally mobbed. Mob probably would have been mobbed on a Friday, but I went on a Thursday. But, I had to still give the boy the nod for coming in. All right to come in, yes. In you come, sir. No problem at all. So there we are. That sort of idea. So it may well go back to that. We're not big on queues in this country, but we have been in the past. I mean, if you go out to some of the Eastern European countries, they just queue and queue and queue for hours at a time to get what they're needing. Oh, this Twitter is amazing. Guys, McCLUE is huge out there. So there we are. Bless you, Scottie. You're always very kind. No, not at all, Anthony. We like to look after our own, and God looks after his own. I tell you. Welly song. Woo! I made it this time. Happy Friday, Dinky-Doo. Happy Friday, Welly song. Lovely to have you with us, and a big Dinky-Doo. Yes, we were just saying that some of the regulars are not with us yet tonight, but a lot of the regulars are. And what's happening, Welly Song? We're talking about making this into a phone-in. I've got my Skype on if you want to Skype me, Scottie.McClue, and have a wee chat. You'd be very, very welcome. I've just tweeted, and it's huge. Absolutely superb. So if you're on Twitter, feel free to go on and retweet that right now. What I thought I might do, I don't like to mix my sites. Oh, yes, do follow me on Reddit if you've got a Reddit account. Tremendous there. So welcome, Welly Song. Woohoo to you. Excellent. We can say woohoo. That's what it's about. Now, we had a question just before Craig came on. Oh, yes. We're asking about, do you think the restaurants and the pubs will close down again, says Eddie. I wouldn't be surprised if anything happens again. They really wouldn't want the schools out because I think a lot of parents found out just what it's like to have their children with them 24/7. Thought, goodness me, how do the teachers deal with this? How do the teachers cope? Tremendous. But also, far more importantly, how do the children cope? Because they're the ones that matter. They are our young people. They are our future. We need to look after them. We need to protect them. We need to see they're not put at risk of getting the virus, right? So very, very important from that point of view, I can tell you. Now then, there we are. Wonderful stuff. So it's very possible, if they can't get the virus under control, that they will really need to step in and isolate big style. Because you look at people in the likes of, well, look at them in a London street outside a pub, all chattering away and hugging each other. Look at the poor students at the university. Some of these wee souls, 18 years of age, maybe just been there for a week or two, and they're locked down in their halls of residence. Now, I don't know if you've ever been in a hall of residence. I mean, it's quite nice, but it's a sort of, what can I say? It's a cell-like existence. So when I say cell-like, I mean in terms of maybe like a nun or something like that, a small room, wash hand basin, wardrobe, that sort of idea. And for a young person to be stuck in a setup like that, I mean, I don't bother. I would read books, so from a student's point of view, it might be quite good. If you're watching as a student, do feel free to come and make a comment. We'd be very interested in hearing from you. Scottie, why are beef eaters called beef eaters? Now, Robert Scrimger, I can't give you the exact definition, but they were big beef eaters, probably as opposed to maybe just getting gruel, because the beef eaters are actually the yeomen of the guard, are they not? Which means they are the Queen's bodyguard in the Tower of London, the yeomen of the guard. So there we are. And what does yeoman mean? Sorry, too much apple cider vinegar. I'll have some more. Oh, whew, that would be hairs on your chest, I'll tell you. So I couldn't give you the exact definition, but I know that they do guard the Tower of London, which goes way, way, way back. I mean, how old's the Tower of London? 1,000 years? That sort of idea, getting on for that. And there they are. So the beef eaters. I remember being in a Gilbert and Sullivan opera called The Yeoman of the Guard. Wonderful. And I've got a version of it with Sir Malcolm Sargent conducting, I think it's the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. What a fabulous sound. And you know it's Sargent as soon as you hear it. The man was a musical genius. So Malcolm Sargent, The Last Night at the Proms, Flash Harry, wonderful man. I do feel for the students, having been a radio, media and computing student. That's a fair old bag you've got there, Tony. Radio, media and computing. It must be especially hard on the first time young students away from home and might not get home for Christmas. Yes, I'm concerned about their mental welfare. That's the thing. They need to be watching Scottie McClue. This is another reason that the public service broadcaster should have a massive Scottie McClue phone-in on at this time. I don't understand why not. It can't be anything personal, because they've never actually said to me, do you want to do a phone-in? And I've not said to them, you know, do you want me to do a phone-in? But, you know, it would be fantastic at this time, a national phone-in. And I think I probably have enough experience now to do that for you. So here we go. Magnus says, students are 12 people in a flat sharing 2 toilets and 1 kitchen in a halls of residence. It's overcrowding. Wow, Magnus, that's interesting. 12 people in a flat. Are you talking about halls of residence? Because that's not my experience. That might be a student flat. But not, no, that's not my experience there, Magnus. How very interesting. Yes. Welly Song. Discord's the new Skype. My friend did a Zoom from their parents' house in Hillsborough instead of the Basin and Wardrobe in Aberdeen. I'm looking into that. So you think that's the new Skype? Well, not you think, you know. That's the new Skype, Welly Song. How very, very interesting. Uni is over Zoom, says Welly Song. Yes, and I'm going to look at that as well. We might do a bit of chatting there. So are you talking Discord and Zoom, or Zoom through Discord? Is that what you're telling me about? A yeoman means a servant, does it not, Scottie? Yes, if you're good, yeoman stop. And yes, I mean the Tower of London beef eaters, not the gin or the restaurants. Thank you. Just done a wee ad for there, Robert. Very good. Scottie, I was watching the Reverend I Am Jolly, the one with David Heyman in it. So funny. Now, Eddie Doyle, is that the Reverend I Am Jolly, or is that the Reverend David Goodchild? Is that the very first one? Check that out for me. Because just before Ricky Fulton, before Ricky started doing the Reverend I Am Jolly, he did a Church of Scotland minister, and I think it was the Reverend David Goodchild. And it was an outstanding performance. He was just the kind of guy. you could have seen in a Church of Scotland on a Sunday morning, or coming round to your house with the communion cards to pay a pastoral visit, put up a prayer, the rest of it. So have a look at that. David, I think, was David playing the floor manager in it? The Reverend I Am Jolly with Ricky Fulton, Scottie. Yes, indeed. So check that one out for me. Did Beefeaters protect the king's food? I think... Wait a minute. Did Beefeaters protect the king's food? I think I heard this somewhere. They may have the beef eaters, so they may have tasted the food in case somebody had poisoned the king's food. So there are some very dodgy people around, I say. The one with David Heyman I'm talking about, the Reverend got drunk in it. Yes. Now check that out. I think you'll see it on YouTube. And tell me if it's the Reverend I Am Jolly or if it's the Reverend David Goodchild. In other words, the forerunner of the Reverend I Am Jolly. Because these Ricky Fulton Scotch and Rye programs were outstandingly good. And do you remember when Mark McManus appeared as Taggart? And... Ricky did his super cop, the motorcyclist. And when Ricky died, Kate asked, I think, Kate, his wife, Kate Matheson, lovely, lovely lady, asked the police if they might provide a motorcycle. I can't remember how it went, if she'd asked or they'd suggested. Anyway, what happened was Ricky's cortege was accompanied by outriders from Glasgow Police Motorcycle Division. So there we are. Absolutely amazing. Wonderful man. Scotch and Rye was hilarious, Craig Cochrane. It really was. It was very clever and very, very funny. And Ricky was an outstanding actor. Very good. And, of course, Jack Mulroy, his partner in Francie and Josie, another outstanding actor, and they were lovely guys. Very nice men. Wow, Scottie, you know your stuff. It says last call with the Reverend David Goodchild. It was a send-up of late call on STV, right, on Scottish television at night, because I used to introduce it. And at night you had late call, and that would come a priest or a minister or a vicar or whatever, a person of religion, a person of the cloth, and do a wee thought for the evening. Very, very nice. And I think I maybe told you, when my friend who was an announcer and a great friend of Ricky Fulton's, wonderful man, omitted to see the late call and introduced directly the late night movie and said, right now, it's time for your appointment with fear. And up came late call. It had a wee theme tune. Da 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 dee dee. The pianist, we don't need to frighten anybody. Well, it was pre-recorded, of course. So there you are. The Reverend David Goodchild, last call. That's it, Eddie. It was a send-up. And then he went on to do the Reverend I Am Jolly. Yes, Ricky, Billy Connolly was a good talking about when the priest would come round to the house, and Mother would put on a performance. Here's Magnus. The Reverend James Curry was a regular late call. The Reverend James Curry was another wonderful man. He was a great friend of mine and a great friend of my mother and father's. And he was in the same class at school as my uncle. And I remember at a concert, he used to MC the Scottish Fiddle Orchestra concerts. And Jimmy was there doing his stuff, and he was so popular. Everybody would talk to him during the break. The poor man, I don't think, ever got a cup of tea. Not that that would worry him. And I remember bringing him an orange juice. He said, oh, thanks. And my uncle said, I'll go and see him, see if he remembers me, you know. So my uncle was standing there, not thinking that Jimmy Curry would remember him. And Jimmy was talking to a lady, and he hadn't seen him for maybe 45 years. And then he turned to my uncle. He went, hello, Bill. How lovely to see you again. It's a wee while. So my uncle's surprise didn't quite come off. And I can remember somebody telling me, I think Jimmy was the school chaplain at, was it Crookston Castle when he was at St. James Church in Pollock. Was that right? He was the minister of St. James Pollock. And he was the chaplain to Crookston Castle. And I remember a former pupil from that school coming on and telling me on the radio that when Mr. Curry was taking assembly, it was always mobbed because it was great fun. I remember seeing the Reverend David Goodchild's first TV broadcast. Floor manager slipped in some vodka into his whiskey. He was nervous. Floor manager was David Heyman. It was the wonderful David Heyman. And if you want to hear an interview, put in Scottie McCLUE talks to David Heyman on your YouTube search, and you'll get it's a brilliant interview. I'm not saying that because it's me. I'm saying it because it's David Heyman. Wonderful. So there we go. Right. What's happening here? Do we need some more stuff? Let me give you a wee taste of some of the stuff I was getting today. I could not believe it. So there you are. But I'll give you a wee taster, and you can see what you think. Now, this was a discussion on another... Let me see if I can get this for you. Yes, on another platform. And I'm just going to tell a little bit about it. Scottie, did you ever see the clip with Ricky Fulton and Mark McManus from Taggart? Eddie Doyle. That's what we're just talking about. When Ricky was doing his super cop, his motorcycle cop, and Mark McManus appeared. Wonderful. A star appearance by the wonderful Mark McManus. Lovely man. And used to see him at STV. And he was like, hello, hello. You see, I've just been said hello to by Taggart. It was just a wonderful thing. But there we go. Now, let's just see what's been going on here. And I'll run this past you, and you can give me your opinion. I used to think every Church of Scotland minister was the Reverend I.M. Jolly growing up. Absolutely, Anthony. Well, that's because Ricky was such an outstanding actor. He got every last detail of, just a typical minister. And just the mannerisms, the voice, the chat, just wonderful. Because you had these guys, I mean, you couldn't go very far in Scotland without coming across a church, right? In those days, a Christian church. And there were just so many of them, And on a Sunday morning in the early 60s, bells ringing, bells, bells, bells. I mean, there was one where I lived, there was 5 in one square, 5 churches full with congregations. Lovely water, that was it, Frank. Where's the water? Scottie, did you ever get to meet Gregor Fisher? I haven't formally met Gregor, but I've worked in the same building at the time. I've nodded to him across tables countless times. I've been in the audience of Naked Radio, and I was in a Kick Up the 80s. I don't know if Gregor was in that one. Kick Up the 80s. And I went to see him at Dundee Rep. I think it was 1978. And there he was in A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, singing and acting superb. And then, of course, he's been in so many things. Love Actually, wonderful in that. Whiskey Galore, Parahandy. What else? Oh, classical stuff. Dickens, outstanding. Terrific comedy. Of course, the wonderful Ramsay Nisbet. Just an outstanding actor. A man I have immense time for. So there we are. So that's it. Gregor Fisher. Wonderful. I liked the Ricky Fulton sketch when he played the Clatty chef. Clatty. And then he hit the what do you call these? The cockroach, and popped it in the pot and said, I'll pop that in, it's good protein. Magnus says, I once met Mark McManus 30 years ago in the Fotheringay pub in Strathbungo, yes. He bought me a pint and I bought him one back. A really nice guy, absolute lovely guy. Always had time for people, and that, if you're a performer, I feel the same myself. People come to see you. Have a word with them. Have a nice wee chat. That's what it's all about. The Clatty chef was called Dickie Dandruff. Do you remember him playing the North American Native Indian chief and coming into the dole office? And the guy says to him, "What's it you do?" He goes, "I hunt bear." He says, "Well, there's no bear in Glasgow." He says, "Have you been doing Shelson on a Friday night, Saturday night?" Love I Am Jolly and Ricky Fulton. You put Fullerton there, Anthony, Ricky Fulton, wonderful man. But also, I think Ricky was, in the early days, a BBC announcer. So there we go. He used to announce on the BBC. Gordon Jackson must have been one of the best Scottish actors. Alistair Campbell. Gordon Jackson was an outstanding actor. Tunes of Glory. Wee Jimmy the Adjutant in the Scottish Regiment. Tunes of Glory. Upstairs, Downstairs, The Butler. The Great Escape. He was in The Great Escape, wasn't he? Was he not in The Great Escape with Angus Lenny? Yes, Gordon Jackson, The Great Escape. I loved him as the head of CI5, Bodie and Doyle. Remember that on a Saturday night? Head of CI5, The Professionals. Oh, what else was Gordon in? He was in so many things. Oh, he was in the original Whiskey Galore. He was the son. He was just a boy in the original Whiskey Galore. And my mother used to talk about him. I think he used to go to Ardrishig on his holidays. And you would see Gordon Jackson in Ardrishig. Fantastic. Lovely, lovely. A lot of people did. So there we go. Now, yes, Gordon Jackson, an outstanding Scottish actor. Anyone remember Francie and Josie? Eddie Doyle. If you go onto YouTube, you'll see Francie and Josie's final night. And they put the lights up at one point and pan the camera around the audience. And there you'll see old McCLUE. There we are. I got invited along to that, and it was fantastic. And I had a wee word with them afterwards. And they said to me, "Scottie, we never miss your show, son." Jack and Ricky, there we are. That was better for me than a knighthood. Far better. So there we go. Yes, we loved Gordon Jackson. Loved it when I Am Jolly said, "Hello, how's your week been?" Then the best bit was when he said, "I've had a bloody awful week." Love it. Well, a minister is a tough gig. Ministers, priests, vicars, a very tough gig, actually. Saw a video of you yesterday, Scottie, talking about face masks, but you had no beard. Thought you'd shaved it off. No polycos. This just grows and grows. I quite like it, and a lot of people seem to. Scottie, I love that TV show you done, talking about being puffed out. The puffed out one. Oh, you puffed it. There you are. Well, maybe have a look at that tonight, Eddie, actually, and see what's what. But I wanted to do a wee bit of chat with you about some stuff I've been doing here on... oh, that's lovely. Somebody sent me a lovely picture of a chip shop in Oban. Yes, let me see if I can. There's your notifications coming for tonight. Wonderful stuff. Now, you can follow Scottie McCLUE, of course, on Facebook. Very, very important. Get that sorted as well. So there we are. I don't know what's happened to that. I was going to have a look and see if I could give you a wee bit of that. Ah, there we go. There we are. Now, that's that. So I'll tell you what was going on. It must have been from earlier in the year. Absolutely, Polycos, because this thing grows really quick. You know, I mean, I had it all shaved when I got my hair cut, and it grows really quick. I can tell you that for nothing. So there we are. We'll maybe have a wee look at that tonight. Oh, fantastic. So there we go. Now, it must have been from earlier in the year. Absolutely. Now, here's the sort of stuff we get. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. McCLUE has put his replies in. So there we are. What have we got here? Yes, here's a guy calling for abolition of the monarchy. And somebody else goes, what's wrong with this country? Dying, hungry, jobless, mentally unstable. We support somebody who needs nothing, gets support. Time to wake up, smell the roses. So there you are. So this guy, just talking complete and utter nonsense. The jobless, the hungry, the food banks, that all is political, right? The monarchy are nothing to do with politics. So there you are. So I've told them, I think you misunderstand the contribution the monarchy makes. So there we are. And then some dafty comes back with some nonsense. So there we are. I'll just put a wee answer there. I'll just tell this person to grow up. There we are. There we go. Wonderful stuff. Right. So that's what we've been getting. Now, my mistake, it was about panic buying toilet rolls, says Paul. Ah, yes, that's right. I put that up. Dinky-Doo, Scottie, how are you? J-Dog has joined us. How fantastic is that? Wonderful, J-Dog. Excellent, excellent. And welcome, welcome. Now, let me see if I can find this for you. Right, I'll see if I can find this for you. And we can all have a wee look at that. Wonderful. So there we go. The bit that that gentleman was talking about. How are you, J-Dog? Are you all right? So there are you well? It's wonderful. This is what it's about. No. That's that. Oh, excellent. Right, so what we do, onto YouTube, so there you go. So these dafties, not understanding anything about their old family, going on about, oh, they're so rich, all that. You get fed up with it. Piece of nonsense. There we are. Now, the royal family have done so much for this country. Absolutely incredible. Right, I'm going to see if I can find that for you. There we go. Right, and we'll see what comes up here. And I can pop this on for you as tonight's clip. That would be good, wouldn't it? If we do it on tonight's clip. There you go. Oh, yes. This is what the wizard would do, you see, during the phone-in. You're talking about last call on the TV. So there you are. You're talking about last call on the TV. Do you remember a late night art show called After Dark? It was a bad idea, inviting Oliver Reed on when there was a free bar. I remember After Dark. Was that not, when Oliver came on, did he not come on to Michael Parkinson's show? Do you think the UK is moving towards a government by decree? Very interesting. Ooh, that's lovely. That's absolutely lush, guys. I'm feeling better today, says J-Dog. Had to ask my GP a few questions about the effects of the surgery just to see if they were normal, and nothing was wrong. Absolutely. Good for you, J-Dog. Strong and well. Paul says the Royals make a lot of money for England, for London. None of it reaches Scotland. Not true, Paul. The Royals are effectively a Scottish institution. The Queen's mother was 100% Scots. The Queen is 50% Scots. She has a Scottish title. She's the Duchess of Edinburgh. Her husband and all her sons were educated in Scotland. Her grandsons educated in Scotland. What else can I tell? There are 7 Scottish residences. Royal Scotland. Scotland took over the English crown in 1603. The money is equally shared. So a lot of the tourism and the trade comes in through Scotland. The former Royal Yacht Britannia is based in Scotland, in Leith, a tourist attraction. Tourism brings in about maybe £150 billion. They're all family themselves. As a tiny firm, can bring in maybe a couple of £billion a year. They're virtually self-financing. They don't cost us anything. So, you know, the most you would pay for all families, maybe 50, 60p, something like that. Wonderful value, and you could never, ever, ever replace that. They did try it. They divided Charles I into a head and a body, a complete and utter disaster. And we had to have the restoration of the monarchy during the Restoration period with Charles II, his son. So there, the monarchy is about for 2,437 years and is an outstanding institution. So they're just what's not to like, you know. If people are a wee bit chippy and think that person's got more money than me, well, you'll never sort these people out. They're saddos, you know. You'll never, ever sort that out. So there you go. And so, no, they're always make a lot of money for Scotland. And, of course, if we don't have royal assent, no independence. So get your head round that one and start loving the royals, I say. That's a message for the people of Scotland. Right. What else have we got here? Oh, my goodness. Will you look at the time? I cannot believe this. It seems like we've just been on for a minute or two. And, you know, we've been on for 57 minutes. Wow. What a fabulous night has been tonight. Now, there's a phone-in coming. I'm working on it. And we'll have that during the winter and see how we all go. So there you go. So the Scottie McCLUE Nightline will be live on YouTube for you, and you can all phone in. We'll look at how we're going to get in touch, whether it's Skype or whatever. My dad told me to invest my money in bonds. So I've bought 100 copies of Goldfinger. Craig Cochrane, we have missed your wonderful jokes. Do you know that these jokes are known as dad jokes? Quite interesting. It must be people's dads tell these jokes. So there we are. Wonderful. Alistair Campbell says, haste you back, Alistair Campbell, and we'll maybe hopefully get in touch with you via a call at some point. And we can all chit-chat. That would be tremendous. I'll get this shared. If there's something big on the telly, then there has to be something big on the telly. It doesn't matter. Scottie McCLUE will be there talking to you and saying Dinky-Doo. We were on last night, so have a look for that and get it shared. And, of course, on tonight, have a look for that and get it shared big style. Fantastic. Anything with Scottie McCLUE on it, like it, follow it, share it, all that sort of thing, because we're right across the internet and it's massive. And Scottie McCLUE is a force for good. And we want to see a phone in. If the public service broadcaster won't do it, we'll maybe get somebody to sponsor it, and we'll do it ourselves, and it will be huge, absolutely huge. So there you are. But the people do need it. Very, very important. Très important, as we say in French. Looking forward to the phone-in, says Magnus. Dinky-Doo Magnus. To every single one of you, thank you so much for watching. This is me, Scottie McCLUE, saying Dinky-Doo to every one of you. Friday night, nothing gets past me. Enjoy your night, and we'll all catch up soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Take care, everybody, as you go. Goodbye, everybody. Auf Wiedersehen. Au revoir. And a cheerio. Ta-da, my loves. Take great care of your dear selves. Dinky-Doo. Craig says, can't wait for the phone-in. Up and running, it'll be epic. Just what we need. Good night, Scottie. Dinky-Doo. Good night, Craig. Night, says Tony. Tried singing the goodbye song. Couldn't remember the words. My guinea pig appreciated it. Welly song, Dinky-Doo to you from Scottie McCLUE. Ta-da, lads.